10 at halftime against the Toronto Raptors. We've seen a lot of the big men out there together, Nikola Vucevic and Andre Drummond. Julian Phillips is playing well again. He's leading the Bulls off the bench in scoring. He's tied for second overall in scoring. We got 4 players with 9 points, but he scored 9 points off the bench in 12 minutes. He's 3 or 4 from the field, 2 3-pointers hit. He's gotten to the free throw line one time. That was on a 4-point play, 1 rebound as well, and only 1 turnover from Julian Phillips. But outside of that, Ayo Dosunmu leading the team in scoring with 13 points, 5 of 6 from the field, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 rebounds in this game and 13 points. You got Alex Caruso with 9, Kobe White with 4. He's 1 of 4 from the field. Another cold shooting night from Kobe, but he does have 5 assists. 9 points from Vooch, 9 points from DeMar DeRozan, and then you got 3 points each from Javon Carter and Andre Drummond off the bench. Even Dalen Terry scored. Everybody who's checked into the game so far has scored. The Bulls are spreading the ball around, and it's really working in their favor in this game. They're winning the rebounding battle by 1. We're 8 of 19 from three-point range for 42%. The Toronto Raptors are 50% from three-point, 8 of 16 from the field. We're shooting 27% overall, and we have 15 assists on 23 made baskets. That's all really good and really in favor for the Chicago Bulls. They're playing their style of basketball right now. Now, we know that the Raptors are a team that does make second half adjustments. We're going to see how they come out in the second half defensively, because that could really change some things for the Bulls and the nature of the game overall. But outside of that, the Bulls are taking care of a lot of the business you want to see them taking care of. We do have 9 turnovers in the first half of the game, so I would like to see that come down some. We had 16 fast break points. They're only their 6. They have 13 second chance points to our 5. I'm sorry, did I say fast break points we're leading? When you look at points off the bench, we're leading that 19-18, so we're leading that by 1. And then when you look at points in the paint, the Bulls have scored 28 points in the paint to only the Toronto Raptors 20 points in the paint. So we're spreading the ball around. Everybody's getting involved. The turnovers are a thing that I want to see get down, but I want to see that ball movement stay the same. If it really wasn't for the turnovers in this game, the Bulls could probably have like a 15-point lead. But, that's woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not going to hold that against the team or that expectation, but the Bulls they're playing really good right now. They're playing really good. 10-point lead. You like to see that happen. Those minutes with Drum and Vooch out there together weren't bad, but you had we were worried about Billy Donovan going small. He actually went really big. He had Vooch, Drummond, and Julian Phillips all out there together at the same time. I think Ayo and, if I'm not mistaken, Javon Carter were the other 2 players out there. Somebody fact check me on that one. But just we're seeing Billy Donovan try some different things, and he's riding the hot hand. He's playing the rookie more, allowing the rookie and Julian Phillips to keep earning those minutes. I can't be too mad at that, but let me see how you guys feel about it. We got Benji in the building. He says, shout out Julian Phillips, man, so inspirational. Listen, I tell you what, Julian Phillips is playing well. For a minute there, he was leading the Chicago Bulls in scoring. He's going to make it hard to put him back on the bench. Anthony Vargas says, I like how the Bulls are playing right now, but play better on the third. Yes, play better in the third. Do not give up in the third. Why are they playing that damn circus music every time we're on offense? This ain't Madison Square Garden. That's hilarious. That's funny. Sydney says, Julian is balling right now. Good for the young buck. Absolutely. And that was the thing. Is he going to be able to build off his last game? So far, he's doing that. Great controlled game so far from Brian. Agree with you on that one. We got Shay in the building. Says BD has to be the most worrisome coach of all time. Julian Phillips was cooking and you take him out of the game. Well, you got to rest players. I get it that we have this sense that, listen, they're hot. You keep them in the game. Maybe he's looking at it down the road of Julian Phillips hasn't played a whole hell of a lot of minutes. I don't want him to get gassed. Maybe that's why. I'm not making an excuse for it, but I'm just trying to throw some reason. I agree with you. I would love to see Julian Phillips keep rocking. But, if we see more of Julian in the second half because of it, it is what it is there. What happened to throwing the ball into Nikola Vucevic when he has Thaddeus Young on him? That's always going to be one of those things, man. Always going to be one of those things. 1, Kobe Cook. 2, Julian is a stud. Absolutely agree with you on that one. Is it just me or is Kobe just not taking shots right now? I know they're guarding him, but hard, but he's not shooting very much. Well, that's the thing, right? I think you want him to have that level of awareness. On top of not shooting very much, he didn't shoot the ball well. 0 of 1 from three-point range, 1 of 4. So with that and the defense keying in on him, because right now they are keyed in on Kobe White, this is your next step in your evolution as a star-level player. He's having that impact for the Bulls. When a defense, they're focused on just stopping you and making the other players beat them, how do you counteract to that? Kobe in the first half went 1 of 4. He became more of a facilitator. He is a point guard, so I'm not going to hold that against him. 5 assists. He still had a positive plus minus of +1. Only one at that time. So I'm not going to hold it against Kobe because of how he's deferring more in a way, but he's setting up other players. I don't think we'd have as many players as spread out as we are offensively if it wasn't for a player like Kobe White stepping up. Him and DeMar have both facilitated very well in their moment. So that is going to be some games where that's the right play. As a point guard, there's going to be games where Kobe, it's not about him scoring. It's about how he facilitates and get easier shots for his players. And he's doing that today. We're killing Grady Dick in the Raptors. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to leave it alone. Julian playing with lots of confidence. Listen, that one game that he played, that last game against the Portland Trailblazers, that could be a confidence builder. That could have been what he said, hey, I can actually do this at that level. On top of him killing it down in the G League, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, yo, what's going on, Daniel? Glad to have you in the building. JK says, glad Billy let Phillips playing through those mistakes. Got to get Dalen back out there. Definitely agree with you. Anthony Vargas says, I like your hat. Thank you. This is one of my least worn hats, I should say. Weird hats isn't a word, worn hats, but I like it. Yeah, it is what it is. You guys know I'm in my black and gold Bulls gear era. Bulls looking good. Love seeing Io look confident, and it might be hard to take JP out of the lineup moving forward. Listen, now Torrey Craig could make his return Saturday, but I'm telling you, if Julian Phillips keeps playing like this, you're going to have to keep giving him opportunities. Watching Dick miss that shot was funny. I guess he can't fill the hole. That's crazy. That's wild. If Phillips keeps playing like this, Carter will be the odd man out again. I didn't think about that. That definitely could be the thing when Torrey Craig comes back and whoever moving Ayo Dosunmu back to the bench, it could become a thing where we're just not playing Javon Carter. Julian Phillips is playing really good. When do we start playing the organ again at the UC? Reminds me of the 90s. I like it. They've been doing that all season, I think. I don't know if they I know that it's happened other times this season. I don't know if it's been happening at every home game this season, but I do know that it happened because me and Pat talked about it, that it happened on an earlier game during the season at home. Bulls playing good. Now they have to rinse, recycle, repeat, and finish the game with a win. Listen, I would love to see the Bulls hold on to this lead the whole game, but we know that this is Bulls team and the Toronto Raptors are going to make some adjustments. Let's see how the Bulls come out in the second half. I'm not gonna lie. If I could trade Gary Trent Jr. for Javon Carter and the Zach LaVine deal, I would do it. I mean, listen, Gary Trent Jr. is a really good role player, really good. It's crazy how much better we play without LaVine, getting rid of Vooch and Pat and DeMar, and we got a team. Sorry, Haize. But you're saying sorry to me. I'm not the guy who runs this team. If the Toronto Raptors were to give you 2 first-round picks, Gary Trent Jr., Shay, stop you. Pick up your lip if you're going to use voice to text. Gary Trim Jr., and I know that's just from you not picking up your goddamn bottom lip, Shay. Listen, take the lip. I was going to stop. Roll up your goddamn lip, Shay. Gary Trent Jr., Chris Boucher for Zach LaVine. Would you take it? Yeah, I think I would. We might have one of them ones with JP. Shout out to Pat. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you. Melvin Dortch says the 4-point play from JB. He's balling. Give him more time, man. He may be our diamond in the rough. Definitely could be. Definitely could be. We got a super chat. Shout out to CF Football Candy for supporting the channel. Says, I'm tired of the Bulls fans settling for mediocrity. Let's hold this organization accountable. Build through our young talent. Let the mid-3 go. Get Coop flat. See, you every time you start talking sense, you always end it on some bullshit. Like, what are we doing, CF Football Candy? Like, come on, bro. We're not going to, we don't even own our own first-round pick outright. So it'll be very difficult for that to happen. And we know that this team is actually still trying to win. So COD says, Julian Phillips getting his shine in here, and I'm here for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You should really take that super chat money and use it for basketball education. That's crazy. That's Quentin's coming for next, bro. That's wild. Pat says, the one thing I don't want to see the Bulls do is now that Billy's playing JP, he's building confidence. When the young guys get healthy, we just sit them. Completely agree with you on that one. You don't want to sit them. You want to keep rewarding. Now, are those minutes maybe going to be less? Possibly, especially when P. Will and Torrey Craig come back. But you want to reward a player playing well and having confidence do not allow him to fall completely out of the rotation. Jordan says, I think they play the organ piano during City Edition nights. That makes sense because it's like the old Chicago Stadium. That actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I love that little added flair to it. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. The offense looks smooth. We move the ball well, and defense is solid. I hope we don't have the usual third quarter meltdown. Let's hope not, because that would fucking piss me off, to just be 100% honest with you. CF Football Candy says Cooper Flag was just a name. LOL. It's clearly the much better path to build through the draft. Well, yeah, but build through the draft doesn't mean tank either, though. It means make smart decisions. So no, they're not going to trade off all the mid three. It's not going to happen, and it's not realistic. No team's going to take Vooch right now, but how he's playing. I just tell you right there, to give up Vooch would mean we'd probably have to give up a first round pick to get rid of Vooch to get another team to take that contract. So that's what I meant more so than it not being realistic, is that I get it and I understand where you're rooted at and coming from. Do not get me wrong, but it's not realistic. And especially with this front office already telling us that they want to still try to compete, that's probably what's going to happen. We don't have our pick in the Cooper Flag draft, and Alex Starr is going to be first overall pick. Ain't no way to get them both. Well, we do have our own first round pick. It's just lottery protected. So San Antonio pick. I know it's protect. They don't have it outright. If we're bad enough, technically we get to hold on to our own pick. So there is that possibility. There is a possibility that we have it, but I don't think that the roster ever gets that bad to the point to where that becomes a feasible thing. So it's top 10 protected to Sacramento Kings. So if it falls anywhere in the top 10, we get to hold on to our pick. So can we talk about Kobe and his passing? Yeah, listen, they're keying in right now. They're keying in right now on what Kobe White's doing and trying to get the ball out of his hand so he doesn't kill them scoring wise. And Kobe is he's adapting to that really well. He's playing a point guard role right now. He's facilitating to his other players. So we'll see. Haize, is there anything to this rumor of Kuminga and Wiggins for Zach? Is that even a good trade? Just showed up in my notifications. So I'm of the mind usually where there's enough smoke that means there's at least a spark. So this rumor has been making its rounds, and it seems like it's all rooted from the same original article. So take that for what you will. But I think that if you keep hearing it enough, it may be something that was offered. Now that doesn't mean that necessarily the Bulls are going to take that deal, but I would lean towards believing that maybe there was a conversation had, and the Golden State Warriors said, "Hey, if we were to trade for Zach, this is what we'd give you back." And the Bulls said, "All right, thank you for that offer. We'll get back to you. Don't call us. We'll call you." I believe that that's something that could have realistically happened. And I don't know that that means that anything is pressing or happening for sure. But I do take that as meaning that there have been some type of discussions in regards to that. Bulls ain't playing better without Zach. People have amnesia as to what they actually see, and our record is blah without Zach, and we beat a bunch of injured bad teams. Fact is, we're not a good team, period. No, the fact is we're playing better without Zach. The ball's moving better. I went over the stats during the time. When you look at the measurable things, we're not holding on to the ball as long. We're averaging more passes, less turnovers. So we are playing better without Zach. Now, how better that is, and we're just saying without Zach this season. Zach hasn't been Zach for the most part this season. He's been playing bad. So if anybody's just saying overall, you got to take that with a grain of salt. But no, there are actually metrics that show we are playing better without Zach LaVine. So now, I still think that our ceiling's probably higher if Zach comes in and he locks in and plays in this system with how we're playing, absolutely. But this team has been better without it, as far as from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. Would you be interested in Zach Collins, good size and a defensive player that can help both Drummond and I just don't know. I don't know if I trust, because at that point, you still got Craig, you still got Patrick Williams. I wouldn't trust necessarily Billy Donovan to play them much. We beat some good teams this year too. We beat the Bucks twice and Philly twice, and only once without Embiid. That's definitely facts there as well. But all right, guys, go ahead and end the halftime hangout. I'll be back post game show. Let's hope the Bulls keep this up. Let's go out here. Let's get this dub. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red, y'all.